Hey, and welcome to a very fast and accurate way to generate your software requirements and your whole software concept. My name is Manuel. I started as a software developer myself. I know all the struggles, the pain, the costs, and the time it takes to create proper software development concepts and requirements to feed the development team and get reliable results. I've been through all of that. I saw projects crashing because of poor requirements, and I saw frustrated developers and frustrated product owners, and I saw very successful projects that all started with a rock solid concept. And in this cheat sheet, I want to show you how you can use ChatGPT with just 3 commands and 2 bonus commands to generate your epics and user stories in a fast, consistent, and accurate way. And before we get into the command, I first want to give you a strong reason why you should definitely try that. It can improve the quality of the results and also the profitability of your software projects big time, no matter if you run an agency or if you run an in-house software development team or if you want to outsource software development work. The requirements of your software project is the number one thing that decides about highly successful software projects and a very streamlined development process. And those that just get more and more expensive, miss one deadline after another, and in the end, users don't even want to use it. So the number one thing is really clear values defined, because when you have clear values defined of the features you want to create, the epics, then you can set clear expectations, which is the next point, which leads to more satisfied users and stakeholders or shareholders. Then you can communicate your value clearly in your marketing and when you try to motivate users to use your application. And that allows you to sell your software for a higher price when you can communicate the value clearly. And that results in higher closing rates in the sign-up or sales process, which in the end means more revenue for you at lower costs. All right. And overall, when you have proper software development requirements and concepts, it reduces the complexity big time. It reduces failures and it allows you to move a lot faster through the development and conception process. Now, for the development, it means if you have clear requirements, then you get a much higher quality from software developers, because when they need to figure out what exactly you mean, then you have high inefficiencies in your development process. And that leads to high failures, high costs, and unsatisfied developers, and in the end, also unsatisfied users. The higher quality leads also to less costs. It leads to less bugs, fewer failures. It allows you to release faster in faster release cycles. And in the end, you get happier clients, a happier team, and you will be happier if you are responsible for the success of the software development project. So now let's have a look at the commands, and you can simply copy paste these commands and replace the placeholders to adjust them to your specific need and your software project. And then in the first one, this is the first prompt, you enter just your overall use case. For example, a time tracking app or an e-commerce app or whichever app or application or software you develop. It's best if you describe just what it is. And then in the next part, you replace the pattern by for whom it should be. So who is the group of users that will use your software later? That's important because then ChatGPT also knows kind of the background. You know, it's very smart, knows more than we do. And it's just important that you feed it with the right information. You get what you ask for. Okay, so when you enter the group here, for example, business owners, marketing managers, product owners, developers, whoever's your target audience, and then with what they try to achieve with your software, okay? Like it can be manage their projects better, track time more accurately. If there is a result, a specific result from your software, then mention the result, okay? That people get faster by using your software. So that's what you add here. And then this is just an advice to ChatGPT that ChatGPT should generate now the epics in detail to describe the features such a software needs in order to help a person in your target audience achieve the goal they want to achieve by using your software with a specific use case you mentioned. And then as a result, you get a list of epics. And you can always tell ChatGPT to refine that, right? You can say, please write 10 more epics. Please write the epics in the format, and maybe you have a specific format. You can tell ChatGPT after you get the first result to just rewrite it. Then the second command is like you want to understand the exact value that you can communicate with the software that has the epics or features that you just got from the first command, because this will help you motivate people to try your software, to buy your software, and to use your software. It's all about the value. So then you enter, if I want to motivate people to use my software, what are the main problems they can solve with the software that has these features? And with these features, it's referred to the features you got listed in the first prompt. Now, as a third command, you just take every epic you got as a result from the first command and you put it into this pattern. You ask for every epic or feature that you want in your software requirement backlog. Please write the most important user stories for the epic, and then here you copy paste the epic so that they are well defined for developers to start implementing it. Because that's the purpose of requirements of epics and user stories, that developers can understand what you want and implement it properly. So now you enter this one and then you get the user stories for every epic. And again, here you can always ask what else or add more or what are the most important user stories to finalize that. You can also ask, please put them into the right order to avoid overlapping dependencies, because developers want to get them in the right order. If you can sort it before they implement it, it again reduces failures and makes the overall software development process more efficient. All right, and here are just some bonuses. You can ask whenever you have a client, a user that complains about something and you have no idea how to deal with that, or your team doesn't know, and you want to empower your team to solve these problems and complaints without you, then this is a very powerful question. My client or user complains about, and then enter the complaint as a replacement of the placeholder. Which other questions do you need to get answered to give me some options how I can solve this problem and make my client happy? Because when you ask like a complex problem, you want to break it down to make it simpler, not just for ChatGPT, but also for humans. And you do that by just asking which other questions do you need to get answered to understand the whole complex picture and give me concrete suggestions how I can solve it. That's the pattern of this formula. It is very powerful to get anything from ChatGPT simply by asking, hey, what do you need to get answered from me in order to tell me how I can get, and then the result you want. Okay, and here is another thing. In my project, I have the following problem, and then you describe the problem. I want, and then you describe the desired situation that you want to achieve, or in other words, when the problem is solved, how should the world look like? And then you say, which questions do I need to answer to get suggestions how I can solve my problem? And then it lists you additional questions, you answer them, and then you tell them, okay, so now how can I solve my problem? And that is very, very powerful also in communication with humans. It doesn't just help with ChatGPT or other AI tools, it also helps in the interaction with humans when you know how to ask the right question and how to lead them to get the result you want. All right, now you know how you can generate epics and user stories for your software project. Now, there is a very, very powerful tool that we are going to develop currently, which helps you not just create the requirements, but also the technical concept until you can even generate the code with this tool. We've integrated different other AI tools, so you can just simply enter your idea and step by step go down from the idea to epics, to user stories. It compares different technology stacks for you. It defines the whole implementation outline, the plan for your team, puts them in the right order, and it even generates code as a first draft. So your team doesn't need to start from scratch, but has already code that is working and that is correct, implementing the features and the user stories that you defined in this tool. If you want to go to the next step and use this tool to really speed up the creation and generation of requirements, concepts, and code by up to 1,000 times, it's really that fast, and market your software better once it is released or even before the release, then you can just click the link here. I will put a link in when you got this document, and you will see how you can go with the next step and get better concepts generated thanks to the power of AI, make your project more successful and your teams and your stakeholders and users a lot more happy. So I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Cheers and happy scaling.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to move to the next step, you can start with the resources I linked below this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like it below and share it. It will help to support this channel and create more helpful content for you regularly and make our digital work world a better place. Cheers and see you soon.